Okay, folks, I'm talking to both beginners, mostly intermediate and advanced, so a lot of you are going to know this, but I'd just ask you to pretend that you haven't seen this before, because I seriously doubt, unless you've read my early work from last year, that you've probably ever been exposed to this kind of thing, and there's a reason for that. But first of all, let's just review very quickly. When you type a broad keyword into the search engine, you can also do all in text, and I'm not going to get into all in text, but let's just suffice to say that broad and phrase. If you do quotes as a phrase match in the query box, URL, you can type in, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do all of these guys, because you need to know these commands. All in URL, colon. And make sure you put the site right, the phrase right here. Okay? Put the phrase right here. So if it's offshore banking, put it exactly how you want it. If you want it to be in broad, put it in broad. Broad simply means that your proximity irrelevancy is going to happen sooner. If you didn't understand what that means, I'll go over it at a later date. But just suffice that you can say all in URL, colon, offshore. I'll actually show you this on the computer in Camtasia as well, all right? I just wanted to humanize this a little bit because it's really important. All in URL, if you want phrase match, whatever your keyword is, it will return in that, again, you should still have your preferences set to 100. It will return however many URLs there are that qualify as less than imperfect for the all-in URL. That means that it has to have your keywords somewhere in the URL. Think about it. Okay, I'm going to be showing you these things. And I'm going to show you what's called a matrix. Leroy could probably, or Sue or Kelly could show you this a lot better, but I want to show you a little bit what's going on and just give you a glimmer of what, of how the algorithms work and the machinery that we've created. If you take offshore banking, I've already told you that the true technical competition, your TTC, for broad is 895 out of 1,000. Okay. Remember, that's 1,000 pages that should be able to show, but they've omitted a lot of results. There's only 895 that even qualify. Okay, qualify as at least imperfect. All that Google is about. You don't have to run as fast as the bear or the lion. You only have to run as faster than the person who's being chased by the bear or the lion. It's called least imperfect. The number one position can be somebody who's terrible at SEO, but that means that the market is less technically inclined. For example, if you want to see a market that's very well optimized, they're not going to have any omitted results. So if you type in search engine optimization and you go to the bottom of the Google barrel, if you look for the technical rankings, you'll see that there's 1,000 qualified as least imperfect out of 1,000. And we're going to show, we actually have a technology that'll be able to reveal this stuff to you. So you want to know that. If you're getting into an industry that's got 1,000 least and imperfect qualifiers, you know they know what they're doing because why? Their on-page factors are very good. Okay? So SEO is obviously one of those fields. So check this out. We're going to do the actual 895 for the same term. Okay? For the phrase, it's 857. Okay? For the URL, it's now I want you to watch the dive. It's only 600. I'm sorry. It's only 330. Okay. For the title, it rises to 669. And for the anchor, it's 694. Okay. I want you to first of all see how it went uphill based on these ranking factors. Okay. Anchor, title, and URL is way down here. That means there's only 330 people that qualify as least imperfect when you consider the primary or dominant ranking factor, the URL. Okay? Now, that's out of how many that show up on the natural broad. Again, this is the one that most people, this is what your customer is typing in. You're concerned about this the most. Okay? But what I want to show you is how I consider ranking factor very quickly. What you do is you simply look at all of these factors across the entire Google database. Okay? Or you can take the top 10 or 20. It really depends on how sophisticated and expensive you want to make it. But what you do is you take the top 10 positions. Let's just start with 5. And you see, okay, the top 5 positions for broad. You compare the top 5 positions for phrase. You can compare the top 5 positions for all in URL. You can compare the top 5 positions for all in title. You compare the top 5 positions for all in anchor. And again, you can check all of these by all in anchor. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to try to find out where the displacement on the matrix is. How long have we been? 5 minutes. Okay, we'll go a little bit longer. What you're going to do is these are the guys that you care about. Okay, perhaps the phrase as well. And you want to see, for example, for offshore banking, Wikipedia appears number 1 for broad, for phrase, for URL, and there was one they did not rank for. I'm not sure which one, but it was one of these. Okay, and that's 4 out of 5. Okay, for overall ranking factor. Not only that, they maintain their position. You could get more sophisticated if they ranked for 4 of them, but they were demoted in one of those. It simply means that they did not do as good of a job, and they are less perfect than someone else in one of these factors. You see what I'm saying? And this is without considering, these are the factors that Google will give you, and you need to create an actual matrix for. This is without considering other things like the age of the site and the rest, all of which we're automating for you. Okay? My point is that when you look at all of these factors, you can find out, if you just do a cross-corollary matrix, okay, where these things all overlap, okay? So that's what you're actually looking for. So we'll go ahead and stop right now, and I'll come back with one more video to demonstrate this a little bit better. But what I really want you to understand is that you can check to see where the ranking is lost, and there's different reasons. Like, for example, if this one is 2 out of 5, okay, and this one is 1 out of 5, meaning they rank here, but they don't rank over here. Plus, you can see it's not a very competitive market. Your true competition is only, I've seen things in markets that are very expensive in the top 3, but they're only 400 out of 1,000 for true technical ranking. That means with siloing and just considering on-page factors, a lot of times you can blow your competition away just by adding a title tag. And you do that through displacement and looking on the matrix. And of course, it's best to automate this, and this is what we're doing for you. You can do this by hand, it takes you hours. This is how the themes and technology is working. This is how we consider ranking factors and the rest. This is what siloing is about. Okay, go ahead. We'll come back in a second.